Greetings, fellow travelers, and welcome to Palm Beach Zoo's Florida Wetlands. The Florida Wetlands displays a portrayal of a Florida swamp showcasing some of the animals that calls this area home. Here we will trek along the Florida Pioneer Trail, which is a recreation of a cypress swamp. Here, as well as other areas of the Palm Beach Zoo, we will find species that don't belong to the region that is being represented. The Florida Wetlands make up about 20% of all wetlands in the United States and are found throughout Florida. The plants and animals that live in this environment make up an elaborate yet fragile ecosystem. Many mammals, reptiles, birds, and fish use Florida wetlands as breeding and nursery areas for their young. These wetlands also act as a powerful sponge that can soak up huge amounts of excess water from rainfalls. This helps in the prevention of flooding. Wetlands also act as nature's kidneys, helping to purify and filter water that passes through them, filtering out 90% of the most common pollutants out of the moving waters. For these reasons, wetlands are very important to Florida's water supply. And the largest of these wetlands in Florida is the Everglades, which contains one of the highest concentrations of species vulnerable to extinction in the United States. 39 native Florida species found in the Everglades National Park are federally listed as threatened or endangered. Around this opening area, Palm Beach Zoo has placed many signs giving us advice on water conservation, teaching us about the importance of installing rain barrels, using reusable bags when shopping, reusable water bottles, cutting down on our showers, turning off the faucet while brushing our teeth, and how all these things can factor into helping our waterways. The Nene goose are not naturally found in continental areas and are among the most isolated and threatened waterfowl species in the world. Sadly, this is the last of the goose species left in Hawaii. All other 8 species have gone extinct. This species of duck will migrate to the southern wetlands in the winter. Next to the waterfowl, we get our first look at the elusive Florida panther, which is a rare and unique sight in the wetlands. The Florida panther is the last subspecies of puma still found in the eastern United States. We'll have more viewing spots for this animal coming up. Here we will meet Marty. Born in the bayous of Louisiana in September 1987, he was illegally collected along with 22 of his brothers by fishermen, eventually being discovered and seized by Louisiana's Department of Fish and Game. Gopher tortoises are one of the few tortoise species that dig burrows, which can be up to 10 feet deep and 40 foot long. They will share these burrows with many different animal species, including snakes, mice, and even larger mammals like rabbits and foxes. Bald eagles build large nests called eyries, typically 5 to 6 feet in diameter, sometimes weighing in as much as a ton. Mating pairs will lock talons in the sky and gracefully free fall towards the ground. Down the pathway and on the left, just a short distance from the bald eagles, is a second viewing area for the Florida panther. We will see more of this animal down the road. Next up is the bear den, with signing teaching us to be bear aware when camping and what not to do so we can make a difference in a bear's life. On the wall across from the viewing area, there's information about the different kinds of bears that inhabit North America, as well as the Buy a Plate program. The purchase of the Conserve Wildlife Bear License Plate has raised almost $375,000 to support the work of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. We also learn about the Florida Wildlife Corridor Expedition. Wildlife needs room to roam. This project aims to protect a continuous corridor of wildlife habitat throughout Florida. The corridor would provide safe passage for animals as they search for food, mates, or new territory. The goal of this trek we are on now is to bring awareness for the Florida Wildlife Corridor. Turkey vultures rely on a strong sense of smell to locate decaying flesh, which can be over a mile away. This is very unique in the bird world. Young barred owls can climb trees by grasping the bark with their bills and talons, flapping their wings and walking up the trunk. Next up is the back viewing area for the North American river otter. These animals are perfect swimmers with their water-repellent fur and webbed feet, and are able to hold their breath underwater for up to 8 minutes. When the river otter babies are around 2 months old, the mother will push them into the water for their first swimming lesson. At one point, panthers are found throughout Florida. Now the few surviving animals live in the Everglades. This critically endangered species has between 30 to 50 animals remaining in the wild. The main threat to their existence is habitat loss and fragmentation. Here we will meet Sassy and Miko. Sassy, also known as sassafras, is a Florida panther. Her mother is hit and killed by a car in a state park. For a month, Sassy and her two siblings were on their own, surviving on roadkill. Unfortunately, by the time wildlife biologists found her, Sassy's brother had died of starvation and her sister was never found. Sassy received medical care at the Naples Zoo's Florida Panther Rehabilitation Center. Having never learned to hunt on her own, Sassy would not be able to survive in the wild, and wildlife officials chose the Palm Beach Zoo as Sassy's new home. She arrived in February of 2016, a healthy cub short of her first birthday. Miko may look like a panther, but he's a western cougar. He's one of 3 orphan cubs living in an urban community in Idaho. Having to fend for themselves, the cubs struggled to survive. One cub died before wildlife officials were able to locate the cubs, and a second died shortly thereafter. Dehydrated and starving, Miko was brought to the Oregon Zoo to recuperate. After regaining his strength, Miko made the cross-country journey, arriving at Palm Beach Zoo on June 28th of 2012, a healthy 6-month-old cub. And of course, we can't have a Florida Wetlands exhibit without a proper alligator exhibit. Alligators have no vocal cords, so the growl they make is a sound made when the gator sucks air into their lungs and blows it out to produce very loud and deep-toned roars. This is a show of dominance, to attract mates and territorialism. And here we'll come across the front viewing area of the playful otters. Despite their cute appearance and seemingly fun-loving demeanor, river otters are apex predators. They can weigh as much as 30 pounds and can approach 4 feet in length. The mainstay of their diet is fish, but they will eat whatever is most abundant and easiest to catch. Thanks for joining me on this trek through Palm Beach Zoo's Florida Wetlands. This is Brad, and I will see you where our adventures take us next. Until next time, safe travels, everyone.